Hey, so this is a new series I'm gonna make, the F1 Bust series. This series is about drivers that once were told of a bright future, but unfortunately never lived up to the expectations. So before we start, I just want to say really quickly that this series isn't meant to insult any of the drivers I talk about. I just rely on the stats, and I got a lot of respect for every racing driver out there, obviously, because I love the sport. So today we're going to talk about F1's most recent bust, Stoffel Vandoorne, a driver that had much potential but never lived up to his high expectations. Stoffel Vandoorne had a solid start to his career in go-karting. In 2008 he won the Belgian Championship, and a year later he finished second in the CIK FIA World Cup. In 2010 he started his career in single-seaters by competing in the European F4 Championship, which he went on to win as a rookie. In 14 races he scored 6 wins, 9 podiums, 5 pole positions and 4 fastest laps. He absolutely dominated the season. In 2011 and 2012 Vandoorne raced in the Formula Renault 2.0 series. He went on to claim the title in 2012. In those 2 years he scored 9 wins, 26 podiums and 10 pole positions. In 2013 he then moved up to the Formula Renault 3.5 series. In 17 races he got 4 wins, 10 podiums, 4 poles and 3 fastest laps. He only missed out on the championship by a certain Kevin Magnussen, who went on to race in Formula 1 League. In 2014 he joined the ART Grand Prix team to compete in the GP2 series, nowadays known as the Formula 2. And this season would be his breakout. In his rookie season in this extremely competitive series he took 4 wins, 10 podiums, 4 poles and 3 fast laps. He once again finished second in the standings, only being beaten by a certain Jolyon Palmer. After Vandoorne got picked up by the McLaren Junior Academy in late 2013, he had his first opportunities to test a McLaren F1 car in 2014. He got the opportunity to participate in tests at Bahrain, Silverstone and Abu Dhabi. He stayed in GP2 in 2015, which ended with him winning the title, but not only that. In 22 races he got a stunning 7 wins, 16 podiums, 4 poles and 5 fastest laps. That guy was amazing. His gap to second place in the standings were 160 points. Just take that. He beat the likes of Alexander Rossi, Mitch Evans and Pierre Gasly that season. People started calling him the next superstar of Formula 1, and there was some massive hype about it. In 2016, after Fernando Alonso was out for the Bahrain Grand Prix due to injury after his horrific crash at Melbourne, Vandoorne got announced to be his replacement. It was his first start in F1, but he exceeded all expectations by finishing 10th and scoring McLaren's first points of the season. After this performance he got hyped up to be McLaren's future world champion. He spent the rest of the year in Japan racing in Super Formula. He entered 9 races, scored 2 wins, 3 podiums and 1 pole position. Later that year, Jenson Button retired and Stoffel Vandoorne got announced to be his replacement at McLaren in 2017. So the dream of Stoffel Vandoorne to become a Formula 1 driver would finally come true. So 2017 was his first year in F1 as a full-time driver, but the expectations weren't really high due to the McLaren Honda being unreliable as ever. In his rookie year he did quite well for how awful the McLaren really was. He scored 3 top 10s, scored 13 points and finished 16th in the driver standings, only 4 points behind teammate and 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso. Then 2018 came around. McLaren switched to Renault engines, so the expectations were very high, also for Vandoorne. McLaren started the season quite well, with Alonso scoring 32 points in the first 5 races. But what about Vandoorne? He was lacking pace. He only scored 8 points. And the worst thing about it, since the 4th round of the season at Baku, Stoffel Vandoorne hasn't scored a single point to this date. Yes, McLaren dropped back in the pecking order after about 6 races, but Alonso still got something out of the car, while Vandoorne was consistently racing around 18th. In 18 races, Vandoorne hasn't outqualified Alonso a single time. His average starting positions is a 16.8. Also, Alonso tried to protect Vandoorne by saying that the car is much worse than the one he drives, but it never got confirmed by anybody. Then, at September 3rd, McLaren announced that they'd release Vandoorne at the end of the 2018 season. With no seats available, Vandoorne's F1 career is basically over. But what's next for Stoffel Vandoorne? Well, there were rumors he'd go to IndyCar, but 3 weeks ago it got announced that he'll join the HWA team to drive in Formula E in 2019. He's currently testing in Valencia. But what does all this show us? Well, it shows us how such a promising junior Formula career can quickly go downhill in Formula 1. But what do you think? Where did Stoffel Vandoorne's pace suddenly go? And should McLaren have kept him for 2019? Leave your opinion down below in the comments. And for now, thank you guys very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed and comment down below if you would like to see more episodes of this. For more content, just subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.